what you're going to hear about is a next generation of rewards for more than consumer spending, and I know that's really going to land well with people here. A couple of quick things about change in general. One, it's not that big a deal. When we went from the earth is flat to the earth is round in our thinking, the earth didn't change by one molecule. We just took a fresh look at things. Change can be very fast. The 3,000-year-old paradigm, man will never fly, ended in 8 seconds and 120 feet at Kitty Hawk. That's pretty fast change for a 3,000-year-old idea. So we're going to look at the old approach to money and how quickly it can change in the modern era. So, whole agricultural era, 3,000 to 5,000 years. The whole industrial era, 300 to 500 years. There's this accelerating pace of change. The whole computer era is literally mature in 30 to 50 years. Hit it. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist, right, to say, hey, it could be the end of the decade when things shift. So the biggest thing to get about change is you can't get the change you're looking for, what's next, by just doing improvements in the current paradigm. So we didn't get to paper currency by improving gold coins. We didn't get to credit cards by improving paper currency. We're going to have to do something new with money to get into the next economics, and we're not going to have a new global economy without a new kind of economics. Now, I only put that up there to scare you. This isn't going to be an economics lecture. And in fact, what's possible today, based on the abundance we're going to be talking about, is something that's business-led, market-based, profit-driven, but not trickle-down. So it's beyond the whole old left versus right thing. The big disclaimer, this is a whole weekend workshop in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. You're not going to totally get it as you walk out of here. But you might have an idea that something new and exciting is possible and that there might be a role for you in it. So think about what's going on in the economy. Everything that it takes to produce and distribute goods and services is rapidly improving. Technology, labor and management skill, infrastructure, raw materials and energy. But the quality of life and standard of living for individuals, families, and communities is just rising and falling. Also, it takes less raw materials, less energy, less labor, and less capital to produce these goods and services, but we're not seeing a commensurate rise in the standard of living, shortening of working hours, and less detrimental impact. It's because the economics underneath is screwed up. That, you know, like when you have a bad premise, like the Earth at the center of the universe, you know, it just doesn't work. It doesn't add up. So now, our founding premise of our current economic model is scarce resources and unlimited wants and needs. Well, what's off about it? Think about food and world hunger. Food's not a scarce resource. Food's an abundant, renewable resource. There's no unlimited wants and needs for food. The consequences of overeating are obesity, poor health, and low self-esteem. So, whether it's safe, clean energy, it's already an abundant, renewable resource. Education, high-quality education, abundant, renewable resource. Healthcare, abundant, renewable resource. If you could pay for it, you could get it. Housing, nobody ever said we haven't got the resources to get everybody housing. Boards, nails, electricity to run saws. Money issue, money issue, money issue. With a secure retirement for all our seniors, we've got everything seniors need. Food, shelter, clothing, it's all abundant. The challenge is, how are we going to pay for it, right? So let's talk about the money side of things. Here's how messed up it is. Businesses need customers, people lack purchasing power, but money was invented to bring buyers and sellers together. Communities have work to do. People have perfectly adequate skills for childcare, senior care, better student-teacher ratios in the schools. Money was invented to bring work to do and people to do the work together with, you know, businesses need goods. Why I put that there? If aliens landed and they saw how we did money, your businesses want to sell more, your people need the stuff, all that's missing is money, and you invented the money, they would say there's no intelligent life on this planet, and they would get back in their ships and leave. So now, when you don't understand how something works, you look for who or what to blame, like evil spirits cause disease. So who do you blame? And this is for all of us, because you're all blaming somebody, and it depends on your lens. Do you blame the rich or the poor? Do you blame politicians, big government, or the unions? Do you blame foreign competition or foreign workers sneaking in and taking our jobs? You know, the truth is, it depends if you're on the left or the right. Some blame the military, some blame family values, some blame gay people, some blame, you know, lousy architecture. And a lot of people blame human nature. All right, slow down for just one more second. So the human nature thing, you know, evil, greedy human nature, well, yeah, in a world of scarce resources, you know, how would you be? So consider that we're all in the same boat together, business and consumers and employees and employers. It's hard to get your head around that, but blame isn't going to get us there. Blame doesn't get the job done. So what's the alternative? Well, wake up to the fact that we're mostly chasing money. We're not teaming up and cooperating to get stuff done. We're chasing money. So what might be a good alternative? Well, to rethink money. So incentives are powerful. Wages and benefits are powerful incentives. So are grades when you go to school. So are trophies and medals and things like that. Now, the biggest incentive going today, loyalty rewards. So rewards for consumer spending. Banks give them, grocery stores, hotels give them, gas stations give them. Everybody's giving rewards. But what kind of a behavior is consumer spending to reward, right? Why don't we think about rewarding some other things? I love that quote by Maslow, right? If your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. How about rewarding young people to stay in school, get better grades, and graduate? How about rewarding every type of volunteerism? How about rewarding wellness activities that lower our cost of healthcare, like quitting smoking, dropping weight, yoga, meditation? How about rewarding people to get their kids to the dentist? So how would we fund all these incentives? Isn't that the big question? We're having trouble funding things as it is. Well, this is how we're going to fund it. Just understand this metaphorically. If you work at the airlines based on their excess capacity, because excess capacity or wasted business wealth is everywhere. You work at the airlines, your best perk is free or discount flights. You work at the university, free or discount tuition. You work at the YWCA, free or discount membership. You work in a restaurant, free or discount food. So there's tons of excess capacity, and I'll say why in a minute, but imagine pooling that excess capacity into a community virtual warehouse and using it to back this next generation of rewards, like for healthcare, like for volunteerism. So a sample transaction will help you get your heads around it. So Sally Thorsten, who works in a restaurant, gets rewards for doing healthy activities. She can take them and buy a $100 membership, half cash, half health bucks at the YWCA. She can go online to see how her rewards are being earned and spent. And her employer's happy, because if the employer just throws in some empty restaurant tables, some empty airline seats, some empty college desks, but gets low-cost health benefits for the employees, isn't that a win-win? Isn't that a win for businesses and a win for employees? All right. So lots of things to reward, as I mentioned: incentives for students, employee benefits, volunteerism, wellness, plenty of goods and services to reward people with, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. This is what people don't get about economics. Competition's a great thing. If you open a competing restaurant across the street, doesn't it become a destination? Doesn't it improve quality and show consumers and hold down prices? On the other hand, 20 pizza joints, 100 coffee shops and bagel shops, and every hotel or motel has fine dining and a coffee shop. Pretty soon, what you have is a massive explosion of wealth along with downward pressure on market share, prices, profits, and wages. And if wages are the way, hold on just a second. If wages are the way that people go out and enjoy a piece of the pie, then you get this ever-growing economy with individuals, families, and communities not having the purchasing power they need. So right before this was a slide that said innovation is very fast in the global economy right now. It doesn't matter what kind of business innovation it is. If you attach a profit motive to something, it's all over the world overnight. So what we'll suggest here is the world could actually turn on a dime, and you could find yourself thundering into the new economy in no time whatsoever. All right, so just to wrap it up, if money wasn't such a hassle, wouldn't we be enjoying more art, recreation, leisure, travel? Wouldn't we be spending more time with families? Isn't this a common need of people, rich and poor, business and labor? People would love more time with families. Everyone I know would like more time for spiritual pursuits. So it's like a huge win-win to capture excess wealth and make it available to everybody so we weren't going so crazy chasing it. So the biggest challenge, well, everybody's so busy putting out economic fires in their lives, it's hard to look at a long-term economic fire prevention program. You were supposed to read that and laugh. All right, so now there's tons of ways you can help. Pick up one of my cards or give me one of your cards, because you can go out to these websites at the bottom, dualcurrency.com, our commercial website, some good information. The other one, dcsrewards.com, is about the beta site, the beta test we just launched with the Pioneers Conference. People were earning eco-bucks for volunteering, and they're able to spend them at about 10 restaurants in town. We're not going to get a whole lot further without a lot of funding, and this isn't going to happen in the world without your. So, what do you think of the glass now? Half empty, half full, or are we just about there? Thanks, sorry I ran over a little.